So Triple H thinks we're all stupid, huh? He thinks we don't notice the pattern? Veteran after veteran getting released from NXT, talent that built that brand from the ground up, gone. And we're just supposed to believe it's about budget cuts and creative direction. Give me a break. What we're witnessing right now is the systematic dismantling of everything NXT once stood for, and it's happening right under our noses. But here's the real question: why is Triple H quietly erasing the very legacy he claims to protect? Let me paint you a picture that WWE doesn't want you to see. Over the past 18 months, NXT has hemorrhaged more established talent than at any point in its history. We're not talking about developmental wrestlers who weren't ready. We're talking about coaches, producers, veteran performers who were the backbone of that brand. People who bled black and gold. And the timing? Suspiciously convenient. Think about it. Triple H takes over WWE's main roster operations, right? Everyone celebrates because finally, the so-called savior of professional wrestling is in charge. But while everyone's distracted by his main roster booking, something sinister is happening in NXT. The house he built is being cleared out, room by room, like a real estate mogul preparing a property for new ownership. Here's what they are not telling you. WWE's partnership with TKO Group Holdings isn't just about mergers and quarterly earnings reports. It's about streamlining, maximizing profit margins, and eliminating redundancies. And what's the biggest redundancy in WWE's structure right now? A fully staffed developmental brand with its own identity, its own culture, and its own legacy talent eating up contracts. Now, before we go further, we have a quick request for you. We are constantly working to improve our content to earn your love and support. That's why we would truly appreciate it if you could take a moment to leave a like on this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell icon so you never miss an update here on Wrestling Zone Insider. Let me ask you something, and I want you to answer honestly in the comments. Do you think Triple H is protecting NXT's legacy, or is he preparing it for a corporate gutting? Drop your answer below, because this is about to get even more revealing. The evidence is staggering when you line it up. First, they moved NXT to a smaller venue. Then they changed the entire aesthetic from black and gold to the sterile, colorless version we have now. They stripped away the independent wrestling feel that made NXT special. They replaced seasoned veterans with younger, cheaper, more moldable talent fresh out of the NIL program. Every single decision points toward one goal: making NXT cheaper to operate and easier to absorb into the main roster structure. But here's where it gets really interesting. Multiple sources close to the situation have indicated that there are ongoing discussions about NXT's future format. We're hearing whispers about potential partnerships with regional promotions, outsourcing developmental duties, maybe even converting NXT into a pure streaming product with minimal live event overhead. Translation? They are looking for ways to cut costs while maintaining just enough infrastructure to develop talent for Raw and SmackDown. And who benefits from this? Not the wrestlers, not the coaches who dedicated years to building NXT's reputation, not the fans who fell in love with that brand's unique identity. No, the only people who benefit are the corporate executives looking at spreadsheets, calculating profit margins, and figuring out how to squeeze more value out of less investment. Triple H knows exactly what he's doing. This is a man who understands the business inside and out. He's not naive. He's not being manipulated by corporate overlords who don't understand wrestling. He's actively participating in this transformation because, at the end of the day, his loyalty isn't to NXT's legacy, it's to WWE's bottom line and his own position within that power structure. Here's a trivia question for you: can you name 3 NXT veterans who were released in 2024 despite being valuable coaches or producers? Put your answers in the comments, and let's see who's really been paying attention to this systematic purge. The saddest part? NXT was supposed to be different. It was supposed to be the place where wrestling mattered more than entertainment, where work rate and storytelling could flourish without being watered down for a mainstream audience. It was Triple H's baby, his passion project, the brand that proved he understood what hardcore wrestling fans wanted. And now he's the one holding the knife, carving it up piece by piece. You know what really exposes the plan? Look at who they are hiring versus who they are cutting. They are releasing people with decades of industry experience, people who came up through the independent scene, people who understand wrestling psychology and long-term storytelling. Meanwhile, they are stockpiling college athletes with zero wrestling background, influencers with social media followings, and reality TV personalities who look good in promotional photos but can barely work a basic match. This isn't about building the future of professional wrestling. This is about building a content factory that produces WWE-style performers who fit a specific mold, who won't question creative decisions, and who cost a fraction of what established veterans demand. It's about control, conformity, and cost reduction. And the corporate takeover angle? It's already happening. TKO isn't just WWE's parent company, they are actively reshaping how WWE operates at every level. Dana White's influence is seeping into the wrestling business, bringing UFC's ruthless efficiency model with it. In UFC, fighters are independent contractors who get paid per fight with minimal long-term security. Sound familiar? That's the direction NXT is headed, a revolving door of cheap, disposable talent with no institutional memory and no leverage to demand better treatment. Let me ask you another question for the comments. If Triple H truly cared about NXT's legacy, what would he be doing differently right now? I want to hear your thoughts because this matters. Wrestling fans have power when we speak up collectively. The most infuriating part is the gaslighting. WWE puts out these corporate statements about exciting new directions and fresh opportunities while gutting the very foundation that made NXT special. They act like we should be grateful for the privilege of watching them destroy something we loved. They expect us to cheer while they replace substance with style, experience with inexperience, and authenticity with corporate-approved mediocrity. Here's the reality: Triple H is caught between two worlds. He's the businessman who needs to satisfy corporate demands and protect his position in WWE's power structure. But he's also the guy who supposedly revolutionized developmental wrestling and created a brand that became globally respected. Those two identities are at war right now, and guess which one is winning? The corporate side. Always the corporate side. This is about more than just wrestling. This is about what happens when art gets completely consumed by commerce, when creative vision gets sacrificed for quarterly earnings reports, when passion projects get converted into content pipelines designed to maximize profit while minimizing investment. NXT is just the latest casualty in professional wrestling's ongoing corporate takeover. So what's the endgame? My prediction: within 3 years, NXT as we knew it will cease to exist. It'll be rebranded as a pure streaming product, possibly integrated directly into Raw or SmackDown's developmental system. The Performance Center will continue operating, but it'll function more like a factory assembly line than a wrestling school. The focus will shift entirely to creating WWE-style performers rather than well-rounded professional wrestlers. And Triple H will stand there, suit and tie, telling us it was necessary for business. But here's what they can't erase: our memories. We remember what NXT was. We remember the takeover events that outperformed WrestleMania weekends. We remember the stars who were built there before getting called up and misused on the main roster. We remember when developmental wrestling could be excellent television in its own right, not just a stepping stone to something supposedly better. Final question for the comments, and this is important: do you think NXT can ever reclaim its original identity, or is that era gone forever? Give me your honest opinion, because Wrestling Zone Insider exists to have these real conversations that WWE hopes we won't have. The truth is uncomfortable, but it's necessary. Triple H's secret plan isn't really secret at all, it's hiding in plain sight. Clear out the veterans, reduce operating costs, eliminate NXT's independent identity, streamline the talent pipeline, and prepare the brand for whatever corporate restructuring comes next. Whether that's selling it off, absorbing it completely into the main roster structure, or converting it into a minimal-cost streaming product, the writing is on the wall. And we're supposed to just accept it. We're supposed to keep watching, keep subscribing to Peacock, keep buying tickets to live events, and pretend everything is fine while they systematically dismantle one of the most important brands in modern wrestling history. Well, not here. Not on Wrestling Zone Insider. We're going to keep asking the uncomfortable questions, connecting the dots they hope we won't connect, and demanding answers about where our beloved NXT is actually headed. The corporate takeover isn't coming, it's already here. And Triple H isn't fighting it. He's facilitating it. Whether he's doing it willingly or because he has no choice doesn't really matter at this point. The result is the same: NXT's soul is being extracted, piece by piece, in service of a corporate vision that values profit over passion, efficiency over excellence, and conformity over creativity. So here's my challenge to you: don't let them memory hole what NXT once meant. Don't let them rewrite history to pretend this current version is somehow better than what we had. Keep the conversation alive. Share this video. Comment below. Let WWE know that we're paying attention, we're not buying the corporate spin, and we're not going to quietly watch them destroy something special in the name of quarterly earnings reports. Wrestling Zone Insider will keep covering this story as it develops, because someone needs to tell the truth, even when it's uncomfortable, even when it makes us angry, and especially when the corporate machine wants us to stay silent and compliant. Hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and join us in holding WWE accountable for what they are doing to NXT's legacy.